friends of mine, co-anchor of CBS This Morning, my good friend Erica Hill. Thanks for being here.
Nice to see
with us.
you.
Nice to see you. Also, comedian, blogger Franchesca Ramsey, you might recognize from her YouTube video, which has gone huge. Bleep white girls say to black girls. Nice to see you again. Thanks for being with us. Also, Tabatha Coffey from Bravo's Tabatha Takes Over. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
And we always like to involve our audience a lot. So from seat 124, one of our audience members, Chanel. Thanks for being with us. Nice to have you here. Did you expect, Chanel, when you came to the show today, you were going to get roped into being on the show?
No, I'm like still trying to gather myself together. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We're here for you. It's a safe space. You're amongst friends. There's just a couple items in the news I thought we'd talk about. There's a new thing from this company called Pedestrian Route Production. It's basically a GPS app for your iPhone. How many people here have iPhones? Wow, like everybody. I don't have one. I guess I'm totally out of it.
We need to get you one.
Yeah, I'm old school BlackBerry. But there's this new app that basically, it's kind of a GPS app, but it tells you crime statistics from neighborhoods that you're nearby and essentially telling you where not to go. And some people have been calling this the ghetto app, which has offended, obviously, lots and lots of people for understandable reasons. What do you make of this? Does this make any sense to you, this kind of an app?
I'm curious to know what types of crimes it's reporting on, like white collar, shoplifters. There's crimes in all different neighborhoods, not just
updated to the minute.
Absolutely.
Right.
And sometimes crimes aren't always reported in certain areas. So you might go somewhere that you think is safe, but that doesn't necessarily mean that crimes haven't taken place there.
Right. Somebody pointed out that in the White House, D.C., nearby, there's some neighborhoods which have high crime statistics. So would this device tell you not to go toward the White House?
Right. Absolutely.
It doesn't make any sense. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. And how do they update it? Do they update it that, God forbid, some catastrophe happened and all of a sudden that is a major crime scene that you can't go near that area?
Right.
It's so illogical. They're
illogical.
And they're not saying that much about it right now. At least from what I understand, it's going to be on a Windows phone that isn't even out yet.
Oh,
so it's sort of got out and then got this nickname, which obviously
has caused all sorts of controversy.
And understandably, and they say it's going to track crime and also weather. So if you're walking around, you can make sure you don't get caught in a rainstorm and perhaps get mugged. I don't know. So, I mean, but it's a great point. I mean, how often do they update the crime statistics and what exactly constitutes a crime?
Exactly.
I mean,
Right. It's also in a small town where maybe there's one big violent crime. That's going to make it seem like that town is a really dangerous place, and so people in small towns are like, well, wait a minute. So people are going to avoid us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I feel like it's taking away from our better judgment. Basically, if you see a bad neighborhood and you don't feel comfortable, just turn the other way, You could be going into an area that, I mean, crime doesn't just happen like in the street, like randomly every day,
Right.
So you could really be missing out on places that you need to go to just because of this app.
Yeah.
It can steer you into the
And
wrong
good people
direction.
live in neighborhoods where bad things happen.
Exactly.
I also think it provides a false sense of security because, unfortunately, crime happens everywhere. I mean, that's not a good thing, but that's not to say that if you live in a really great gated community, that a crime can't happen in your neighborhood either.
Sure. I just heard about this new game too, which I kind of love. It's the idea is that over dinner, everybody takes their BlackBerry or their iPhone and you stack it one on top of the other, and it's a way to avoid having people using their phones during dinner, which I find so annoying, even though I do it all the time.
I'm so guilty.
Yes, I know.
Guilty.
So I actually didn't bring my phone, but you all have stacked your phones.
Yeah,
Which, so the idea is that the first person who actually reaches for their phone to use it, take it out of the stack, they have to pay for dinner. So I like that idea.
It's great.
I think it's funny.
I use my kids as an excuse.
You use your kids as an excuse?
I mean, legitimately, sometimes when I'm out, I keep my phone out, and I don't check it all the time because I think it's rude too.
Right.
But I keep it there just in case something happens with one of my kids. But there have been times I'm like, oh yeah, I just need to make sure they're okay. Okay, it's fine.
I do it to avoid personal interaction with people.
That's your own separate.
I do it to tweet.
Well,
so
as a blogger, I do it all the time. I like to talk about where I'm at or things that are interesting to me, and I know it's really bad at dinner.
It's so rude.
So I really have been trying to be more conscious about it and turn off my phone. But I think that while everyone should avoid being rude, sometimes it's unavoidable. If you work, I mean, some people are,
Family
kids.
for sure. You need
I
to
think
check
what's
your phone.
important is if you make sure that you're courteous to your guests. You say, listen, I might be getting a really important phone call. I might have to end up paying for dinner, but I have to take this call.
No, I think you're right. Being upfront makes a big difference too.
Right.
You're not just randomly reaching for it.
And have you guys heard of these purity bowls?
I have.
Yeah? You look very skeptical.
I'm not skeptical. I think that it's everyone's personal choice. I think on one hand, it's really great that young girls are trying to be more conscious about when they have sex and are really trying to be smart about who they give their virginity to. But I think it's a personal choice. I think that everyone should do what's best for them and they should be responsible. But I don't think that it's my place to say, like, that's a dumb idea or you should absolutely do that, because everyone has to do what's right for them.
Yeah. There was also a thing I saw in the news of a number of schools now are asking kids who are obese to wear these monitors around their wrists. They're basically like watches that monitor heartbeat, how much exercise you're getting, your sleep patterns and stuff. And it's a way, they say, of tracking obesity and trying to do something about childhood obesity, which is a problem. Do you think that works?
No.
No.
I have a huge problem with that. I was an obese child, and you get ridiculed so much just for being overweight, and kids give you such a hard time, and then to wear this bracelet or watch or whatever it is to say, hey, look, I'm the fat kid, look at me, I'm wearing a watch to see if I'm going to, lose weight and exercise. It's so wrong, and I think it singles out the children. And I also think it's the parents' responsibility to teach them to exercise properly and to get outside and to shut the computer down.
Yeah, but I mean, so much of kids' time is spent in the schools away from the parents. Parents can't, you can't be watching your kid all the time. Do you?
You can't, but I mean, obviously as a parent, I think, I want my kid to be comfortable and I don't want them to be made fun of. That's one of my biggest fears is my child being bullied. That being said, if as a parent and with your child, I think this is a discussion you have to have with your kids and you have to have with the school to find out how they're using the information, who's doing it, what kind of say do you get? I mean, if you think that's a good idea for your kid, go for it. But I would hate to see it be anything that's pushed on someone for the exact reasons that you pointed out.
Well, and here's what I don't understand. A lot of the time, and the problem comes from them sitting at home on the computer all the time, not getting outside and running around and playing with other kids and kicking a ball and doing those things. Because everything now is so interactive electronically.
Yeah. And schools have so much to do as it is. I mean, a lot of times, it's, there's this constant battle between school and parenting. Teachers are asked to do a lot, and I say this is the daughter and the sister of a teacher, so full disclosure. But I mean, you can't expect teachers to do everything, so it really needs to be a partnership.
I also don't understand what the monitoring is supposed to do in terms of helping the child, because if you're overweight, you probably already know it. And I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, some people have special problems and they need to address.
They're being singled out.
But yeah, they're being singled out. We know that it's a combination of diet and exercise, so I don't necessarily think a bracelet is going to give me any added information.
Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks very much. By the way, you can catch Erica on CBS this morning, and Tabatha takes over Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. on Bravo.